That's better. Hopefully you can hear me. We're talking about Malton today and their jobs. Thanks. The audio. You can hear me. Why don't I do Twitch live streams? Because you can't see them. You can't wait to discuss your job. Good. Well, I don't know where all these people are texting me and commenting me from, so we're covering all. What do they say? If I could post them, I would have posted them, so you can imagine what they say. I'm not getting my accounts banned because of what they say or what the pictures are. So, when they're racist and hate crime and violence against women and intimidation and threat, what else do I do? Besides what I listed, what else is there? If it's funny. I'm sure you know what it means. Oh, I've got a list. I have a headset on so I don't hear background noise. Hey, Speed Racer. You live in this building? Well, the noise pollution one's for you. Can we get him a ticket? No, motorcycle guy is annoying. Imagine if I didn't have a headset on. I was using my phone or had my window open, what it would sound like. In the townhouses. Oh, so what if that guy just came through your front? You guys don't have gates on this side, right? It's just open. What if he just came right through? I think he's leaving. Cooking content? Well, as the winter comes, it's not 400 degrees, so cooking with the oven on and a stove on, it's less painful than in the summer when you have to do it. When it's hot in your apartment, you don't want to have the stove and the oven on. That's what the basic quick version is. Go inside your bachelor apartment, close all the doors, turn the oven on, turn the stove on and just sit there and see what happens to you if you want to test it. Or you can get up and cook too, but I'm just saying, if you ever tried it, you probably wouldn't be arguing. If it came right through, I would stand my ground and defend my castle. Well, see, if I look out my window right now at the units down there, at what point is there like the front door? Is it like, the shotgun houses where you can just open the two doors and they go right through into the hallway? No? I did look at the floor plans. I told you, I'm going to take one of your 3 bedrooms one day. Did you get hit by a motorcycle? What's on the schedule today? Correcting Malton. They keep talking about mental health, and I think somebody scrambled their brains. Nothing makes sense. Equity, inclusion, diversity. But you're all racist and hateful and spiteful. Mean. Don't you think I would have done that? I keep telling you one by one, show me who it is. I told you. You commented. What did you comment? I'm here for entertainment. That one. I'm going to make a special video. I told you I don't do anything halfway. I'm going to entertain you and send it directly to you. Don't worry. I need your job. That's what I'm waiting for, your job. What it is. Everybody, that's why we're doing this. So we can all find out what it is. Minimum? No, we're asking all of Malton what their job is. Why is that funny? Why is that a joke? Is that funny if you have a full-time job? You work how many hours? 12 hours? 8 hours? Full-time outside all summer? Somebody came and told you that? No, I don't look at many other accounts. I stopped that due to what I saw. If you're a volunteer, how do you work? Can you stop doing this to me? Do you get paid to be a volunteer? It says firefighter. That's not mean. You're making me look bad. Mhm. Not one person mentioned their job yet. A volunteer firefighter. Mhm. When? When? Which one? In Malton? When I go to Wendy's, where do you think that is? That fire station. If you occasionally read to children with developmental disorders, where do you read to them? At the library, that same community center? Because it seems to be getting worse. No, that's the same volunteer firefighter. Why? At Walmart. You work at Walmart. You work on cash or on the floor or both? In the back room? Doing something else? The bakery? Oh, that's real good. I get paid an on-call commission for volunteer firefighting. I know it's not in your world, so I get forgive your ignorance. Real good if you're a real volunteer firefighter, right? You get paid an on-call commission. So every time there's a fire, you get what, $10? Well, if it's my fire, I forgive your ignorance too, but I'll call somebody else. Why don't you list developmental disorders, what they are? Your joke is this is going to be on YouTube. Yeah, should I go over it again? Lifelong nausea. I'm on ODSP. I started my own nonprofit, my own business, trying to make money, but because of my lease, I can't from this apartment. But you're sitting here getting forced to go back to work because you work from home right now. You're sitting here, ridiculous as ever, leaving comments about what? Racist comments? About what? I'm entertainment? And you're actually sitting here talking about real firefighters and real fires? No, I can't take that seriously, especially if it's Malton. I just said 5 minutes ago, right? Where's the fire station? Where are the paramedic? Where is that? Who's the bigger joke? A firefighter is an emergency service. When you have an emergency, a fire, who's the bigger joke? Do you? You know that? Lifelong nausea? And what's wrong with you guys? You're capable of working and you're insulting me. Why? Well, how do you get ODSP? You get set on fire? I worked in retail. I worked as a cashier. I worked in the back room, stocking. I also was a part-time assistant manager. I sold Avon, Regal, Pampered Chef, Epicure. What else? Really? I'm not supposed to? Why? Sunset Gourmet, there's the other one. They were Canadian. Do you know the whole of COVID? Remember that? Uh-huh. You all worked from home doing what? Y'all wanted recipes. What do you think those companies do? Yeah, we can go over how you learned to cook during COVID. I should mention what? How many you sell Avon now? To do what? Make money? To get makeup? Which one? To get friends? Yeah, I want to hear. Well, we all know minimum wage is going up, right? October 1st. It's going to be 17 something. Yeah, that's minimum wage. Every job, right? Starts at that. Every single job, minimum wage. Would you like me to go over? Yeah, I've got all my infographics. That's what they're called, right? Pictures that give you information real quick. Infographics. Just like on Instagram, the one that says it's going up, minimum wage is going up. What if I post them on YouTube after? Then you'll see them. Where it says posts under YouTube, if you go to where it says posts, you'll find them there. Okay, October 1st, 2025. It's going up to $17.60 an hour. So for a part-time job, 20 hours, that's $352 a week. For a full-time, 40 hours, that's $704 a week. Minimum wage. Got it? Remind me to post it on the YouTube. Okay. I Canva them. That's why I usually say that. Should I Canva something? Well, when you have your phone on a plan and then your time is up and you get a phone for, you pay monthly. That's how I got the flip one because my screen kept breaking. So I decided I can flip it closed and my screen won't break. Because they haven't met me in person. That's why they're mean to me. If they met me in person, they probably wouldn't be mean to me. They're focused on me. Now it's your turn. I told you, Malton. I keep calling like what? You took 6 years of my life to go play life coaches? And what? You're worse off than you started? I have to live here for the rest of my life? Which one? I'll post it. Go along with the video. Got it? There was a man yelling at me in my apartment. I don't know. What man was yelling at me in my apartment? I like retail. You get to see everything when it comes into the store and choose what you want to buy when you get paid. Works for me. How Malton destroyed my business. How many times did I tell you I opened the business, a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach in 2019? All of you know the word empathy and self-care, mental health. So what are we doing in 2025 if I'm explaining this right here now and you still are just commenting nothing? But what's food insecurity? You have no money, you have no jobs, and you have no future jobs. There's nowhere to get jobs. What do you mean, but? That's the same guy, the one I posted earlier. There's just multiple videos of him. That's the same one when I had to go to recycling who held the front door open. That's the same guy over and over and over. Just multiple videos. Yeah, same guy. I was in a homeless shelter, homeless for 6 years. You guys did what? You were doing empathy training. Those were the actual police, right? All the services, Peel Children's Aid, Peel Region, all the housing. Where do you think all that came from? The homeless shelter? Where do you think all that was? So why am I sitting here now telling you about a lease if you all got housing and subsidies and grants and loans and everything else for 6 years? Why am I sitting here telling you? Yeah, it's called violence against women. There's this place called jail where people who can't control themselves should be locked up. That is what it's for, right? Jail. The definition of what it's for. People who can't control themselves, who can't live with other people, they have to be locked up so everybody else is safe. I'm lucky to have so much social assistance. Huh. Do I have life easy? That's the joke of the day. I told you, I can always break your legs. You can see how easy it is to be on social assistance. What is the definition of entitlement? Why shouldn't what? Yeah, I have to work my job to pay rent, but you just collect a check and use a subsidy to chill at home smoking reefer. That's easy living where I come from. As I mentioned last night, right? 2,200 for that one bedroom up the street. If I got a full-time job, that's 700 a week, right? That's 2,800 a month. I could move into that one bedroom if I had the job. You can kiss, you know what? You have a job doing what? Let's tell us what your job is. You want me to write it out? Oh, I mission. I enjoy it. You're the same people in Malton, right? When I go to the mall, you're going to look at who and say what? Well, I'm right here. I'm waiting for the dollar numbers, the amounts. You want to sit here and yap and waste an hour? Tell us the amount, the dollar amount. You said you pay hydro and rent and internet. So how much? I want to compare to my internet and what I pay. Why else would I ask? You just said everyone has bills, princess, right? So let's hear. I bet if we traded places, you would beg for yours back, sweetheart. Comments like that one. What is your job? That's don't trust wine again. Yeah, I have to work my job to pay rent, but you just collect a check and use a subsidy to chill at home smoking reefer. That's easy living where I come from. So tell us, don't trust wine. What is your job? How much do you make? What is your rent? What is your hydro? And what is your internet? In dollar amounts. Everyone has bills. You're not special, princess. So go ahead. It's all yours. Your live stream. Thank you. Finally. I work at Air Canada as a disabled people's advocate. I make around $658.99 a week. That's actual information, right? Really? That's 2,600 a month. You what? You can get a one bedroom too at that building. When I just said 2,200, I'm in a bachelor, right? That's a one bedroom. Yes, indeed. It's not going to change. Calculate it again. Well, wildfires, actual. Mhm. Like if you were doing this for work, I'm completely paralyzed from the waist down and still make time to work. Why are you laughing at that? I told you. This is why I keep saying I'd take any of your jobs. They think I'm joking. What, working in a store, retail, counting? You guys have scanners now, right? That do all the work. You don't have to like punch in anything, remember numbers or anything like that. You remember pricing gun? Have you ever used a pricing gun to price things? You ever had like a case of 24 boxes and you had to use the pricing gun and price them all? What job? Well, you ever had to unload a skid of 12 boxes of bleach with 12 bottles of bleach inside? Oh, this is still going up on YouTube. It's going to be there for all the comments until I do the next one on employment in Malton. Well, we can talk about what's going to happen if you get a job and you're a racist. What do you think is going to happen? You going to get into a fight or get fired first? You're the same person. Like the couple leaving the comments. We could go over years ago why everybody went to online shopping, why they never went to the store anymore, right? What was the problem? Why didn't you go to the store? It took too long to stand in line. The cashiers were rude. So you went to online shopping. And then what happened? You couldn't see it online. You got the wrong thing, the wrong color. The color wasn't matching. The color wasn't the same online. So you wanted the store back to go in and see it before you bought it because you were spending too much money. And then what happened? Mhm. I imagine after your lifetime, just 6 years of complete confusion. Half of them don't even know what the word racism, that they're being racist. They actually don't understand. Is that funny if it's children? I talk too much and listen not enough. That's real good. When? Let's take a look at Malton. There's McDonald's, there's Wendy's, there's Freshco, there's Dollarama. Where do you apply for jobs? Shoppers Drug Mart. What else? Yeah, if you work there as a cashier, as a stock person. Are people nice to you? Are people mean to you? What time are they open till? 11, most of them? What time does the mall close? 9, 10? How do you get home if you work there? Do you walk? Do you take a car? Do you take the bus? McDonald's, Wendy's included. If I applied to Gunchika House, you understand the closest one is Bramalea, right? That means I would have to wake up and take the bus there every morning. If I'm nauseous when I wake up, this is the same problem I've been going through my whole life, right? Don't keep calling me princess. I told you when I finally find you. Conjuga House is too high end. Maybe Value Buds is more up her alley. Well, when I find Jeff, I'm going to make sure, right? Him and Franklin and my previous landlord, Mark Branch, I'm going to show them all about Conjuga House and Value Buds. Talk again. All of their jobs. The three of them. Speaking of the three of them, I want to hear what their job is right now. What they make an hour. Yeah, imagine. I have nausea. Are you too fancy to ride a bus? No, I want you the next time you're going to puke, I'm going to put you on a bus. You have to. This is the only way. They have to learn. You can't be this ignorant. Half of you are wanting money for ODSP and PTSD. Why shouldn't I? Do you hear yourself? You would. No, you're going to just go over it. You have 2 feet and a heartbeat. If Jesus could fly and he walked everywhere, what makes you any better? You just take a good look at Malton. Every minute from now on, everywhere, every one of you. You have 2 feet and a heartbeat. If Jesus could fly and he walked everywhere, what makes you any better? Let me see any of you on the bus complaining with your cars. You want to write what? You can look everywhere from now on. Every time you go into the mall, you're going to take a good look at the people standing outside the mall and ask them what they're doing there. Every single time you go to the mall, the Westwood Mall, you're going to look at the people standing outside and ask them what they're doing there. You're going to look at the time and take notes for the next live stream. The next time you go to the community center, the library, you're going to take a good look at the people standing outside and inside and tell me what they're doing there. The next time you go to Tim Hortons, you're going to take a good look at the people standing outside of it and the people inside of it and tell me what they're doing there. And we're still working on their jobs, where they have jobs and what it is. They're 24 hours in a day. What time do you wake up? What time do you go to sleep? How many hours of sleep do you get? Do you remember that video about idle hands? Did you understand what that meant? When you're bored and you have nothing to do, that's when you get into trouble. That's when you do stupid things. So what happened in 6 years? Didn't you get the hub to prevent that, the Malton Youth Hub? Do you have an airtight excuse for every line of questioning regarding jobs? Well, get this one, just like I told Daniel. When you tell the truth, right? You don't need an airtight excuse. It's the truth. Isn't that a kick in the butt? Oh, please, please. All of my life. Go over it for him. Show everyone. When you tell the truth, there's less to remember. Don't lie. Don't lie to me. Which one do you want to hear? If you don't lie, you have less to remember? Why would you post? Do you have an airtight excuse for every line of questioning regarding jobs? Really? Let's go over that. Where are the employment agencies in Malton? We went over Indeed, how everybody has access to a phone, or you go to the community center on the computers, right? They're all free to use. So you can log in and apply for jobs all day and night. So where else? Where are the employment agencies in Malton? And I'm looking at all the comments about job advice they're giving me, reformat my resume, when their children and grandchildren are the ones sitting here, right, looking for jobs to get a house in the future. Why shouldn't I tell them? Aren't they teaching in school to start businesses? So where are they going to start these businesses? All in the mall? Where are they going to rent space? With what money? I did. When they graduate high school and you taught them to start a business, where are they going to get the money to start a business? Don't they need to work to get money to start a business? Save up? So who's setting who up for failure? That's Peel School Board, right? Who's teaching them? That was your whole curriculum. The Christmas rush will start soon. You need to recapitalize. Well, I'm starting with back to school, right, Malton? Yeah, I mentioned shutting down the youth hub. Why is it open? I don't know. Why is it open? What do you do there? Enough with the you get food. Didn't we go over this already? You're supposed to be adults. Why do you need food from somebody? Especially the way you're commenting about you have job. Why do you need to the food bank? Why do you need food from people? Have you ever been to the Malton Community Center? It says the youth need a place to hang out and stay away from reefer and pills. Have you ever been to the Malton Community Center? Have you ever been inside the youth hub? Because I haven't been in the youth hub, so I can't speak for there, but I've been in the community center. Some people need social assistance. You, of all people, should understand that. So why are you here telling me that? Actually, pointless. No, you're going to help everybody in Malton understand. It's strange to me that you were homeless for so long, but you don't understand why people need these services, these types of services. Oh, please explain this one. It's don't trust wine again. No, I have to fix it myself. I told you, this is your live stream. Go, let's hear this. Let me get this clear. You work? Yes or no? Don't trust wine. So everybody can hear this and understand this once. You keep joking, but if I actually call your worker, right, your disability workers, what are you going to do? Hello, Amy. Why are you ignoring my comments? You're discriminating against my disability. I'm not laughing at any of this. You want to sit here and joke? Like I said, when something happens, don't ever come and call my name. Go ahead again. I shouldn't spend my time putting down low income families who rely on food banks. It's a bad look for you. I told you, this is Malton. Everywhere you go in Malton, You're going to remember this. Every day when you guys take your kids to school and you want school nutrition program and food banks, and I see you with the food bank bags. Every time I see you taking your kid to PLASP. Every hub who takes care, babysits your kid. Every time I see you at the food bank getting free food. You're going to remember me and what you said, where you live. Yeah, Amy, I am new here, and so far I get the impression that you are extremely entitled and a total diva. Well, that's probably why half of you ended up dead. How about a stream about reality? Let's go over this again. What is your job and how much do you make an hour? Not one, with the exception of. Well, how many you want to apply if Giant Tiger opens? Or the grocery store that's supposed to open? How many you would apply there? The next stream should be about humility and grace. Who should I get to come? All I'm waiting for? If? Which one would it be better, Freshco or Dollarama? Which one would I have more fun in if I got a job there in Malton? Mm, some people. Some people. 54 minutes. We got about 5 minutes left to complete our hour on people in Malton and what their job is. It says, as a disabled woman of color, I have faced countless acts of discrimination and profiling, which has led me to encounter many hardships throughout my career as a disabled people's advocate in Canada. So you don't like your job? You would like to quit it? You would like a new one? is what it says. If it's for a resume? You said you faced countless acts of discrimination and profiling, which led you to encounter many hardships throughout your career as a disabled people's advocate. There's a comment that says, "A black woman is speaking, listen." Let's go over how many wrongs that is. You're all here doing what? That's funny. If I'm reading all the comments, what was the point of that? If that was from a commenter named Apartment 47. So what did you want me to listen to? If if you come onto a YouTube live stream and put a comment like, "I want you to acknowledge disabled Monique instead of dismissing her," probably not the best idea, right? To come onto my live stream and the first thing you put is, "I want you to." Disabled Monique commented, "I felt very discriminated against and this is not a safe space. I will be reporting this account to YouTube headquarters. So disabled, Monique, just to let everybody know. I don't know what you are or what your job is. Do you want to go over what inclusion means? Sure, just for Malton. What does inclusion mean? What color do you think I am? What color do you think I am? And the comment says, you look like you're from Trinidad and or Tobago. Let's go this one again. How are you going to get a job if it's like the airport or like a store? Oh, all ages. If you're in school, you're eventually have to get a job, right? What age? You tell me what age. Who isn't looking for a job in Malton? Yeah. Just make sure when you say I have privilege, you're right behind me because I'm going to show everybody. I told you, make sure you understand the words you use, right? If I have privilege, you're going to show me your life. Not one of you is getting away. A good sense of if Malton had no food bank. If what, they didn't let you smoke in front of the mall where it says no smoking? They didn't let you break rules and do whatever you wanted? A good sense. Anyway, I'm ending it here. Enjoy your night, Malton.